Hi, welcome to Evidence for Faith. So glad you're joining me again as we continue in our series on David and the giants. And as we've been exploring quite a bit now, having to do with evidence for King David, that he actually existed. And today we're looking at another piece of minor discovery. Some minor discoveries, actually there's quite a few of these in this category, but we're going to be talking about Bulla. Bulla and the descendants of King David. Now, as we get into this, what is a bulla? Most people have no idea. Well, I'm actually holding one, a bulla. This is a bulla. And bullas are just little clay pieces. Usually it's clay. And it was something that you would place the seal, like the seal of your signet ring or whatever, or if you had it around your neck, you could actually press in to make a seal to let them see. You see, what they did in ancient times is they would send letters and stuff. Important people, kings in particular, would send letters having to do, writing them possibly on papyrus or whatever. They would fold them up, because they didn't have envelopes they could lick. They would fold them up and then they would tie string around them and put soft pieces of clay. As we're showing you here right now, here is an image of a piece of a papyrus that's been written on, and it's wrapped up, and you can see there's three bullae on these things. And now each one has an indentation, an impression from a signet ring or some other thing showing that it has the official seal on it. You see, then when they would send these, you could tell if the letter has been tampered with because the string would be broken and these little bullas would break off. So because so many letters would be sent and stuff, archaeologists have found thousands of these all around Jerusalem and in Jerusalem. And the thing is, how does this show evidence of David? Well, as we get into this lesson now, as we dive into this, you're going to see up close some individual ones that have the names of David's descendants on them. Thus, David's not a mythical person because we see letters with his descendants' names actually on them. So, come, let's take a look at what the stones are going to be speaking on, showing evidence of King David's existence. There's a third point I want to make out very quickly here of various descendants of David. Now, we mentioned some that were found on the Tel Dan inscription and stuff, but there have been other little clay seals that have been made. And these clay seals have names on them. What they are, they're like notary publics of ancient time. You would write a document, you'd tie a string around it and put a blob of clay on there and then seal it with the king's ring, and it would make an impression. These little impression things that would seal it, these are called bulla. And we have a number of bullas on some of our other lessons you can look up on our website and see. And they have found many of these with biblical names and descendants of David. Matter of fact, some of these bullas even have thumbprints on the back. As they were making the clay, they left their thumbprint. Did you know that we have ancient thumbprints of biblical characters? Baruch is one of them from the book of Jeremiah. We have his thumbprint. So it's logical that some of these are going to be found, since they would be found on royal documents. Some of the descendants of King David would be found, and they have been. Showing you pictures right now, we have one, King Jotham, one of David's ancestors. Jotham, we have a sheep on here. Why he was fascinated with sheep, I have no idea. But it has, this is his, King Jotham's. We have King Ahaz is another one, who was the father of King Hezekiah. We know that these are kings, like Ahaz, his name actually appears on it and says that he's King Ahaz of Judah. It says it right on here. And we found a couple with King Hezekiah's name. There's been more than one. And here's one with a winged beetle. Winged beetle was something that was found in royalty. Kings often used this winged beetle. And here we have a winged beetle with Hezekiah. About everyone I've ever seen with Hezekiah's name on it has always had a winged beetle. And it says Hezekiah, son of Ahaz, king of Judah. And then we have King Manasseh. If you'll notice at the top of this one, there's another winged beetle there. And again, it reads his name, that Melech, Manasseh, and it has his name right on here. And then we have a burial plaque of King Uzziah. The Romans actually found this. Uzziah was a king, a descendant of David also, who was stricken with leprosy because he disobeyed God, and he was not buried in the royal cemetery, and the Romans found this tomb. They plundered the tomb and stuff, but it had this, what it's talking about is the remains of King Uzziah lie inside of here. Don't touch it. He was unclean. But these are all historical ancestors of King David, thus adding to the historical evidence that David actually existed.
Support the show. Become a donor at evidenceforfaith.org/give.